Okay, here we go. So this is our theater. I'm gonna start with the wall tool. So the wall tool has a bunch of different options, okay? There's like, you can hover over wall control line mode, core component, control line mode, right? It has these different style modes, so you can have it control from the left line, from the center of the wall, from the right side of the wall, or from an interior section of the wall. Um, the other options that you have, right, are polygon mode or rectangle mode. So we can be like, I want this to be a random polygon thing, or I want it to be a rectangle square situation. There are wall tool preferences, which are super helpful to us. And then in this drawing, I have a couple of wall styles that are pre-built for you. So these three are in your template file. So I went ahead and gave you exterior walls, which have the diagonal slashy lines, the way that you are accustomed to seeing for a physical wall of a building. And then I've also given you a theater flat, which is just a 3-inch wide wall. So those are sort of the two standards that I've created for you. You can go in and edit them to be whatever you want. We're going to start with this exterior wall that's 11 inches. I'm going to double click on it. So now that is the wall style that's in play. I'm using the left side mode, left control line mode on my Vectorworks drafting. So that means the left side of the wall is where the wall is going to line up. So for example, and I'm going to start all the way down here at the bottom. Oh boy, it's getting a little excited. I'm going to start all the way out here, very bottom corner of life. Actually, let's start here. Okay, so now you'll see I'm creating this wall. Okay, I'm going to keep going across all the doors because the doors will drop in later till I hit a corner. Click at that corner. Okay, I'm going to go across until I have a horizontal intersection, right? So I'm going to just snap right in there. If I double click, it'll create that wall again. I'm snapping to the objects that are in the AutoCAD drafting, okay, because I have gray snap others turned on over there in my layer settings. I'm going to hold shift and I'm just going to take a vertical line all the way down here because as it turns out, I don't really care about the walls outside of this space because they're outside of the actual theater space, okay? If you look at the way that this is all set up, inside of the theater space ends here, okay? So if I haven't gotten it perfect out in the lobby, it's actually not going to impact a lot. So I feel okay about that. I am going to select these three walls, and I'm going to put them where I actually want them, which is not on the scenery layer, on the theater floor plan layer, and now I'm going to jump onto that layer so that I'm drafting on the correct layer. The other thing I'm going to change right away is the height of these three walls in particular, because you'll notice my 3D theater is so much shorter than my 2D section view would indicate, okay? So Command 5, back to the top plan view. Let's come over here and see how high these theater walls should be. Zoom, 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 measure, measure, measure. From this spot to that spot. What you got for me? 27 foot 6 inches, more than 10 feet. So now if I come back in, grab my selection tool, select my three walls, this will be 27 foot 6 inches, okay? Now my three walls are the correct heights. I can also use this wall join to connect this wall to that wall so that they are continuous now. I can come down here, I can add in these little walls which will connect over. For those, I'm going to use my thinner, my 8-inch wall style instead of this 11-inch wall style, just because they're not quite as heavy as those other ones were. Maybe I'll use the 11-inch wall for this segment right here, and then I'll come back in with these 8-inch walls. Let's try that actually. So swap over to this 11-inch wall again. If I'm using, and again, I'm trying to keep track of which line I'm drawing from, right? And then I'm also trying to make sure that I am drawing so that the interior space is the correct size. So what I don't want is for there to be extra wall that hangs over into the theater, because that's going to mess me up, right? If I'm measuring inside of the theater, that's the space I care about the most. So it's going to be cleaner for me to just make a 6-inch wall style. So if I go to my wall tool and I just edit the properties right here, okay, I can just convert to unstyled, make a 6-inch wall, click OK, move on, right? So I think part of my problem was I was lining it up to that door jamb and not lining it up in line with this edge. So let's try this now with this unstyled wall that I have now created. Okay, now that's a horizontal line, beautiful. And let me come over here, and I'm gonna snap right in there. Look at that. Look at that, so cute. All right, same thing over here, right? And it's gonna be even easier. So I'm still using this left line, this left control line. So I'm gonna find that endpoint of that line, come right to this endpoint, and then I'm gonna just hold shift so that I go horizontal until it locks in to that object. Great, now I can just back my way out by hitting delete. Okay, there are more things for you to play with, right? If you feel so inspired, you can maybe try this round wall tool in order to make this weird little curvy bit and create these exterior little vestibules. All you dudes do what you want. But these are the walls that I care about the most, okay? This back wall is the booth wall, if you notice, over here. Okay, so I'm gonna continue, it's gonna have the same overall height, so I'm gonna just make those back walls the same height. We can talk about putting like a booth window in if you want later, but for now, I think we can be pretty secure with our choices about making all of these walls 27 foot 6 inches tall. So let me grab my X key and let's select these walls. All right, so now escape, shift C, now I have my walls of my theater space. That is a great start. You'll notice that this whole layer flies around where that floor layer stays stuck where it was. If that bugs you and you want the floor to stick, you do this view over here that says unified view, and now the flat things will stick on the floor. It doesn't really hurt me right now if it's not unified view, but if it makes you crazy, that's how you fix that. Let's Command 5 back to the top. So now we've played with wall tools. I want to come in and add my doors. And this is the part where you're all going to hate me because I made you draft those doors. And now here we are drafting doors using the door tool. Here is a door. The door is great. I'm going to pick up this door. The door has all kinds of fun tools, parts, right? Align object, align center, align left mode, okay? You can pick whichever way feels right for you. Offset insertion mode, wall insertion mode. So this is if you know how far away it is from the corner that your door would be. In our case, we're using this standard insertion mode because we have a door, like for example, this door right here, that we can use as a guide for our door life, okay? This is a little happier. Okay. So if I'm going to use this door as a guide, I'm lining it up so it matches with the door, and I'm hovering over this wall, which has turned a little bit red. and then I click it and it should go into the wall. It's thinking. It's stressing because I'm making a video. Okay, there it is. It's inside the wall. Now, I have a problem, and that is that my door itself is totally on the wrong side of the world. Okay, let's get out of here. Grab my X key. Also, it has a weird hatch situation, and this is because it was remembering we were just playing with these walls and they had a hatch situation. So I think it does not need any, or if we do any, it would be solid. A solid white fill is totally fine. And then I want to flip this door to be on the other side, so I just click this little flip button until it makes the door swing in the correct direction. Beautiful. There we go. Okay, so that's all there is to it to create a door, all right? You have also a ton of options for your doors, okay? Just a bajillion options. And you should take a little time and play with them because this will all be very valuable to you, especially when you're creating doors that are not just a simple swing interior door like this one. The quickest way to get into that and like play as opposed to functional door dropping like I just did would be to go into this settings pane, and that brings up this great window which gives you a front elevation and a whole bunch of other information about this particular unstyled door, okay? So your size is your leaf size, right? You can also base it on the unit size or the rough opening of the space that it's going into. The height is 6'8", that's standard. The width is 3 feet, that's standard. You can change the top shape. So I want a round door instead of a square door. I want a segment door. I want a sloped door. All kinds of weird stuff. And the lips, a gable, a Gothic door. We want a square door. This is a normal theater, okay? But once you go into those different modes, you have all these different options. It can have a transom. That's the little thing above the top, okay? Once it has a transom, you can go in there and edit that transom to make it whatever size you want, okay? There are also all of these other options, okay? So if there's 2D visualization, how do we want this to be drawn in 2D? So that's in top plan view. How will this door appear? 3D visualization, do you want to see all of these various things in 3D? Do you want to draw it open in 3D and have it be open at a specific angle? So do you want the door to look like it's 45 degrees open when you're in 3D mode? So what that changes now is when I go into 3D mode, it's open, but only 45 degrees instead of when I'm in top plan view and it doesn't read that way, okay? Let's go back. Okay, it also indicates how the swing is going to be drawn on the plan. Some of these options you can change here as well. Configuration is one I mess with a lot. So the bifold or the by part, right? The swing by part means it's a double door. In this case, it will make a very tiny double door because it's only basing it off of a 3-foot width when actually it would be like a 6-foot width for it to be a double door that's full width. We're going to go back to the swing simple door, okay? You'll notice this door opens all the way out, and you can't really see it when it's all the way down there, so let's make our X-plan active just temporarily. You'll see the door is actually, the opening is on this side of the door frame, and then it's indicating that the door swing is all the way flush to that wall. So if I come and grab this door, so the other thing that's going to be true with your doors, like if this is where I'm placing it, is my first click inserts it into the wall. Click. Okay. My second click is going to show which way the door swings open. Okay, so now that I have my second click, I move my mouse around to get it in line where I want it. Pop. There goes the second one. Okay. Let's see if by changing how it swings in 3D, if I can get the angle, if I use 180 instead, see, now it's opening all the way, okay? So that's how you would change a door from only opening to 90 degrees to open all the way to 180. I'm not wild about where it's sitting inside of the wall. You see how it's kind of sitting in the wrong position in the wall? I wonder if this offset in wall will adjust that for me. Yeah, see how much closer I am now to sitting on the proper side of the wall. You can make additional tweaky adjustments if you want to all of these other components in the settings, and you'll be able to kind of fine tune that positioning. So those are some basic deals, right? You have your jamb, use your wall depth for the jamb. So now the door jamb is as wide as the wall, and that will also correct for that offset. So wall back to 0. By adjusting the jamb, now I'm doing a lot better. Okay, so you can kind of tweak those various things until you're happy with the way that your doors look. You come over here, this is a double door. One side is opening in one direction and the other side is opening in the other direction. This is a case where maybe the center is the right placement so that you could place the door at the center position. Okay, click twice in order to lock it in. Yeah, doesn't matter, because I'm going to make it, instead of a swing simple, I'm going to make it a swing by part. Now I'm going to change my width so that the whole thing is the correct width. I'm going to guess 8 feet. Let's see what happens there, right? So now I'm doing a lot better. I'm a lot closer to where I want to be. So your task is to go ahead and drop in doors in all of the places that there are doors. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And get them all opening in the correct direction. I don't mind if this one that I just dropped in doesn't open flush to the wall, because that's a little tweaky to mess with. But other than that, you should be good to go. I'm going to come back with another video about the polyline tool, and that's where we'll talk a bit more about how I would go about giving us all of the correct layer heights for the various levels of this theater space. So that's our next move, and we will be there before you know it.